Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ostiarius, but you can call me Osti, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. We are about to start the second half of the fourth case, and let's go. I do wonder how long this is going to be because it did took me 2.5 hours to get to this case. Unless this case is much bigger than the rest, we should be about halfway through it. So this courtroom should be the end. But I feel like we have 3 cases in a row that was just one single like thing. This is the first case we are having finally a mix of investigation and case room. One of each is short. It feels weird that these cases in this game, they feel long, but at the same time, it feels like not that much has happened because everything is just one big scene instead of a bunch of smaller ones. Anyways, let's focus on the game. Well, I never expected this. Who would have thought I would be back here again so soon? We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practice. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may as well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. It is life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Good morning. Hello. Oh, Mr. Natsumi. Good morning. There is no one behind you, my good man. Your handkerchief is a bit weird. It's a bit texture. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terrible bloodshot. The early bird catches the word, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. Spent the entire night awoken. Horrible. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people take things so literally? Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsumi. I wish I have 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh, sorry. Let me just. Yes, I got a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I wonder if the jury is going to be a new one or are they going to keep the same one? I have no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. You know why that might be, Miss Susato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. But they're all knowing on your face, just coincidence then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zix? And yeah, that could be it. Honestly, aside from that, yeah, that feels like the biggest reason. We really did not get barely anything yesterday. We did find a decent chunk of people. Oh, the 2 we found on the outside of the building are not here. Is that right, Mrs. Sato? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zix is on the front page of everyone. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of Bailey, he stopped appearing in the court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? Everything is alright. Yes. Sorry, just doing a final check. The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Ziek's return to the courtroom after a long hiatus. So not only after the stream in terms of actual information now, we investigated the scene, which woman with a green coat was stabbed here. Our client was close to her, and then he ran away. He ran away to his house, which is this one. And Sherlock came here, saw the books. The books was from a used bookstore. He checked. The bookstore was like, "Oh, that man, he lives there." So they went there and arrested him. Aside from that, we didn't really get a lot of information. We spent most of the time meeting the owners of the building, which are a couple who was fighting. Also, Watson is a little girl. Also, Watson is maybe the royal princess. Maybe. And this guy also uses the bookstore, so that's probably gonna be something you're gonna be used for to investigate the books that were on the crime scene. They're probably not gonna match these ones. They're gonna match the ones that the guy living nearby buys. Aside from that, yeah, we didn't really learn anything. Sherlock Holmes sounds like a hack. What modern media with Sherlock Holmes doesn't make him into Mr. Bullshit? Come on. There was a nice scene at the end when we were talking to the client again about how Naruhodo, the protagonist, doesn't believe in justice, doesn't believe in the courtroom system because of the third case. He was very much in doubt of everything. We also really don't have any reason to believe our client. So we have a pep talk about not just believing in your client to believe, but also believe in yourself who believes in your client. And there was a nice scene at the end. So now we are here because we believe in ourselves who believe in your client. I believe the appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today. I believe that appearance, the prosecutor 2 days ago, made even greater waves here in the capital than today is. But we wouldn't have realized it, of course, having only just arrived in the country. What? Makes perfect sense, yeah. Kazuma told us a lot in the first case about how the most important thing for a lawyer is always believe in your client. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon, for what appears to be a mundane murder? Just your run-of-the-mill murder? That's the question the papers are asking. They are always speculating various answers. Mundane! Mundane! It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us. Oh dear, I mean no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that's how the people are describing it. Well, at least we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Yeah, the first case was all about how we could not prosecute a woman because she was from England and we were in the middle of a district, and now we are having the prosecution of Japanese who apparently Japan doesn't give a fuck. Obviously, the reappearance of his infamous prosecutor has caught the people's attention. Of this infamous. But there's another blatantly similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. Local student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you. Me? Well, I suppose that's true. Both times it's you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you are friends with the Reaper. Please, I don't rub shoulders with death bringers. I'm afraid there is really only one other explanation. It can only be another example of It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such a frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London, with little in the way of experience or skill or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Nah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't tamper to make this case famous. He maybe would. Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side. Oh, benevolent no locum assistant, Miss Mokotaban Esquires. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go. Yes. I'm gonna put this water here. Nah, I'm gonna probably make a mess. This is my second appearance in British courtroom and my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you are watching over me, my boyfriend, because this time I won't let my faith waver. I will believe in my client to the last. Just like you believe in me. I believe I can do this. I'm ready for this fight. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, some of the jury is the same. Was that Mr. the banker from the third case? Fair play. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and the defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponists are truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. After all, at a previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Yeah! Do not sully the name of good old MacGilded. The finest gentleman in this planet. Very true, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here is to the acquainted and his unfortunately violent end. Oh, the wife! Thank you, Consul. I see both sides are fine fellow. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Motherfucker, you really are back. You never know when you might be down on your luck. Believe in fair play for everyone. You are new. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather ruthless I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. You are new? Well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fella. You are a witness! What the fuck are you doing here? I'm afraid to say I think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed. You are new. Come on, what are you waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. You are also new. Oh, sorry, didn't quite catch that. We have a deaf jury. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zix. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife in the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. Important that he plunged a knife, different from murder because she's alive. She's in a hospital, but she's alive. A knife crime, I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Just look at this shallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Okay, we have a racist jury. Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. They should have made the flame go up there. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber. That's the third chalice you broke in front of us. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Who is the first witness? They found him based on someone who saw the crime scene, but according to our client, no one was there to see. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Okay, so we talked with the policeman first. Okay. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? Oh, that's you. That's their face. The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker with a knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago, and she's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger? Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at the street map? I like this music. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 in the afternoon. It happens on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It has not long since stopped snowing, as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we have been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept those documents. Okay, let me check. A file contains an overview of the case and details about the victim. She was found with a knife in her back and is currently in the hospital. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab. Victim Olive Green, female, chubby, early 20s, pavement of Bar Street, East Side, Rowley Beat. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from a single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury was observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Okay. What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ouch, the big thing is trying to make me scared to walk down the street now. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the skate-looking Sussex son, I suppose. A common or garden jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Take me, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Jackknife. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or values, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possession, it seems she is a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. In that case, are we looking at some sort of deep-seated resentment towards the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from the victim's second-hand bookshop, the defiant Mr. Natsume doesn't appear to go out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. Yes! If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way. Objection! Ooh. Oh. but I forgive the discourage of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. But your words have soured its hallowed bulkhead. But it's you, my little friend, who is being heavy-handed here. Your statement was so shit that destroyed my drink, so I just throw it in the public. Amazing. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student. Yes, sir. Witness testimony. Oh, we can immediately cross-examine it instead of having to hear it. Oh no, we do have to rehear it first. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusual light fog. Okay. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he had just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Old books, you say? Yes, my lord, I have the photograph here of the scene of the crime taken immediately after the incident. And yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. Ah, yes. I will take the photograph print as evidence. You Nipponese and spineless breed, too coward to admit defeat. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence of the contrary. Well, forgive me, Lord Zix, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it. What are you doing, Mrs. Sato? You go on. Ms. Natsume has admitted to play some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Natsume? Naruhodo? When we visited him in the prison, he did tell us what happened. As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat, she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of the stone at my feet. I was terrified. I have to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my leg would carry me back to my accursed lodging. A green overcoat? Oh, that's exactly what the woman in print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. So topical if someone to be stabbed in London. Every day someone's getting stabbed in London. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. That's the second case in the row where we are investigating a stab wound. The first two cases have the similarity of both we being the accused, and now 2 cases in a row with a stab. Oh, please tell me. Oh, if the third case is also a stab with a knife, we are really gonna have a game where every single case in London is someone being stabbed with a knife. Oh, that would be so funny. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes. Since this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, Consul. Proceed, please. So, what we are probably gonna do is identify that the books that they found on the crime scene were the books from the owner of the building instead of being the ones that he brought. But that's literally the only information I got from the investigation. Okay. Looks like a simple knife. Can we open? Oh, the tip is missing. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruto. Just at the tip. The small piece of the blade appears to be missing. You're right. Well spotted, Mrs. Ott. I wonder what could have happened to it. Yes, you don't think it could still be lodged into the victim, do you? Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful. Okay. Doesn't look like there's anything else interesting about this knife. Okay, that does look like the correct knife. She has a backpack and 3 books. Okay, as always, let's press everything.
Hold it!
Get as much information as you can. A light fog, you say? Well, light for London. You could see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much further, though. That's light? Around these parts? Yes. Not something I expect a Japanese fellow like you to know, of course. I read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. Really? How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something as Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate. I see. At this time of the year, the fog causes large numbers of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your army. Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by the horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Oh, Sato-san, I should definitely remember this. Remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. Visibility was reasonably good, there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. This is something I am interested in, because we did have a witness who saw someone running away. If there was no one else, who the fuck saw him? How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witness to this crime have told us. Ah yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witness yesterday. That's right, one of them is a policeman, I believe. That is correct, man. Then we must hear their testimony. The prosecution will of course call them to stand should it be necessary. But wait a minute. 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog must have been, no one could have seen. I'm unaware of the situation of your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas street lights. Ah, the prosecution believes there would have been ample light to which they witness the crime. Quite, here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement.
Hold it!
From behind, you say? That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, quite so, Inspector. The hand of the weapon is clearly protruding on the victim's back. And you said this poor woman, Miss Gray, remains in critical condition, comatose no less. I'm afraid so, my lord. She's being treated at Bard's. I was hoping she would come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but I wasn't able to. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's all accounts of events. Luck is on our client's side, it seems. That's so weak, Naruto! On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbed wide eyes, I'm afraid. The accused to run off scattered his belongings all over the floor.
Hold it!
Mr. Natsume belongings, huh? think you'll find it all in there in the photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books, they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. The accused could easily have carried out 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would be free to wield a knife. He's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? He made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume have his hand full with his books. He managed to close one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there. You mean to say the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord, yes. Sorry, just grabbing some water. Those being a number of old books he have just bought, he was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. The block room was stacked from floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. Oh, that's one of the things I wanted, the location. Okay, so it is on the path. The closest second bookstore to the accused log is in this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Bryan Road, Merchant Street. It happens the accused is currently living in the loggers on the other side of Bryan Road at the opposite entrance. Which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken. That's not the bookstore he was. Something like this. The wrong bookstore. Yes, I concur with your conclusion. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. To Natsume, Naruhodo, I think what the inspector just told us could be vital, yes. Inspector, may I ask you a question? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony? Maybe? Well, you know, I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue, not maybe a clue. Very well, now that I can see it being of great importance, please revise your testimony. Yes, my lord. Okay, let's just proceed. We know the contradiction, let's just go.
Objection!
If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. Yesterday I had for lunch fish and chips, and I'm already in the mood for fish and chips again. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused room? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Yore Books. Yore Books? Yore, I presume? Yes, my lord. So, Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand shop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. Huh? What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. The other bookshop is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place I didn't think the accused would have even known of it. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. This receipt proves it. Yes, for what difference it makes, whenever the man purchases his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. I disagree. I mean, after all, I have the street map, if that might be of help. Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. The defendant have been returned from Bourbon Books. Then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at the other books, it may very well turn he wouldn't have passed that location. To be true? My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, what you just said? Absolutely, it absolutely could be right. So, where is it? Dr. Gregson, where is the other book's establishment? Well, obviously we'll look into that. Because out the bookshop is here, next to the Merchant Street going east. Okay, so still could have done. There you have it, as you can clearly see. Oh. I like how Van Zix gives me drink breaks. My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown. The way he regales us with such witnesses to your future career in the circus. You put that glass down or I will put it down for you. I do not think I need to spell it out, but here we go. The accused was coming home from Yori books instead of bourbon books. The wine and glassware supplier for the government be rich. Yeah, he is the glassware supplier. This guy probably has a company just for that. There is no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Yes, thank you, Inspector. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Another glass! Whenever the man purchases his muscetomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. That's the 5th glass? He destroyed 4 glasses and 1 bottle for now. As I suspected, you can't fool me and I don't suggest you try. What did I say? I have enough of this show. Beg your pardon? Would you mind repeating that? Mr. Naruto, we must not give in. The books are different? We don't know. They could be. We still haven't seen. The other thing we have on the... is the name of the books he bought. So if this shit is here, they're probably for a reason. We must not give up. What do you mean? If the prosecution assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty. Oh, she's absolutely right. You must think. You must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very carefully. The claims exam must have passed the location, the incident on his way from your books, but I feel like we do have to raise an objection, but I don't. He could not have passed the. He could pass the other way. The assertion made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself? Yes. You can see what I mean on the map. We return from back to his logins. Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route he could take. The defendant uses the street. Look what happens. He arrives back at his logins without passing the location.
Objection!
He did said he passed by the lady. Yep, he did. There could be a situation we did not establish. He could say something like, "Oh, I passed by when she was stabbed, and that happened in like this other location, not here." It could be a situation where the body was moved. But let's see where this is taking. But I don't think this is that big. Talking back to a clown is a full errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that the route is what is commonly referred to as the long way round. On a cold winter night, why would any man choose to take the longer route? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accuser took the obvious route back to his logins, and it's the obvious perpetrator of this crime. Objection? But, yeah, I got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself, asking Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. Oh, he claims he has no recollection. That's right, as I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimless from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. I don't believe this. I thank you. Ugh, my learned friend. And suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimless around this subject. Pray, what you say, insightful jurors? But if that's the case... Oh, the jury is not happy. I agree with Lord Van Zix, wholehearted and in every way. What? I don't believe. Does that mean the members of the jury are completely convinced now? Very well, in that case, I hereby call all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Well, time for us to call a summation examination. It would appear the jury is leaning is unanimous. The insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve the Queen and country admirably. Admirable. Mr. Naruhodo? No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of the scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the ways of party not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to will your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written in antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense prerogatory to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, Counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. And are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we are ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his alley. Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Summation examination. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese didn't audit already admitted himself. Sorry, for pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted himself, didn't he? If he said a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why is it can only have been the victim? The man wouldn't have gone around the house on his way around from the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was stabbed from behind, was she? How dreadful. I really don't care, can we just wrap this up? I got work to be doing. Your books, yes, nice shop that, but Bourbon's book? Nah, not worth a visit. Well, some of those are really not. With some only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are too clear. When the stabbing occurred, only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused, and the witness. And the accused himself, I love this old man. Right now, he's the best one of them. Has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, we have learned from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear, even the judge appears convicted of Mr. Natsume's guilty now. Why did he have to run away like this? How are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How could I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If you want to force the trial to continue, Yeah, I know, I have to turn the tide. I must take the jurors to change their mind. 4 of them at least. Exactly. You have no choice but to forge forward. You have the ground, Consul. Begin your summation examination. Just need to keep this trial going somehow. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. For pity's sake, the little Nipponese oddity already admitted himself.
Hold it!
Excuse me, but aren't you? Yes, I was the witness. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Ah, I have a feeling I knew your face or the side of it. If I remember correctly, you are a banker, right? Aren't you? That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. And it was all going swimmingly until we started fuzzling around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Sorry? Don't think I've forgotten how you threatened me the other day. You have me and your young header peg. You have me and that young header pegged as criminals. Oh, you know, water under the bridge. It was Tuesday. Come on. Now there is all sort of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been bargaining me non-stop. If I could turn back the clock. Oh, anyways, I don't know about the header, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who is guilty and who isn't. Thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this one. I wonder what become of Mr. First now. If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim. Go back.
Hold it!
You were right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to have seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking a rider ahead of him. Oh, quite, that's precisely my point. Clearly, someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, the funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Of course he does. If he admits the stabbing, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. But if that's a lie as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Oh, I really couldn't say after all. You are foreigners. Who is to say what goes through your funny little minds? You are all stupid. I don't understand how you think. I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could have possibly committed this awful crime. No one else could have done it. The accused must be the man. Really, couldn't be more simple. Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit, and in its racist. Oh, you are too kind, my lord. That went well for her. The man wouldn't have gone around the house on his way back from the bookstore, not in the winter.
Hold it!
I admit I would have sure stabbed someone in London in the circumstances this guy is in, for God's sake. The man lives in panic. But you can't deny there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken from your books. Yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it? Calabash Road or something? Precisely. But it seems to me that what counts is whenever the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. At the moment, there is no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yeah, that's true. As I understand, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's annoyingly true. Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you want to get home as quickly as possible. Well, yes, why is all true? So, really, the only thing that would make sense is that he went home along Briar's Road. I'm supposed to be convincing you. I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a will that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone to Calabash Road way, it would be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case, honestly I would. A reason why Soseki might have taken a longer way home. Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine to be able to sway this young opinion without one. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful. You live there! Whatever is the matter, young man? You're the wife of Mr. Garidad, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume's room. The master's wife? Where did you get your joke, sir? I'm the maid, you understand? Just keeping that charade? This is gonna be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday, that you'd be selected for the jury on this trial? Well, also not to mention to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I have no choice. I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he? Yes, although he's only been in a little over a week now. And at that time, you surely must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this? Oh my goodness, yes! Oh, absolutely, he's just the type of man. What? Spending all his time in a dark, dingy room, sporting the scrumptious mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those stiffy eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something. Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more. Well, you just call him a worm, so... Anyway, I better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. I've paid enough damning things already. I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up?
Hold it!
A man's life's on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life is on the line and so is my family. Oh. The likes of you wouldn't understand. But laborer... fuck. Laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat. And neither do my wife and kids. Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there is water and gas supply pipes bursting left and right and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's hard slog from dawn to dusk it is. So, you were out digging the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, I was just around the corner from where it happened, by that old bookshop, I mean. It was... what? That's right. Merchant Street it was. This is the one above, right? Okay, so you were here. Which means you were a witness. You would have seen him. Merchant Street. On the map, mister, there are only 3 named streets. Juror number 5, I need you to add the information to your formal statement, please. What's the point of that? Can we just get this business over? Please, sir, it's important. Fine, I would do it. On the day it happened, I was digging up Merchant Street from dawn till dusk. Your books... yes, nice shop that, but bourbon books? Nah, not worth a visit.
Hold it!
Sorry, hold it? Hold what? No, what I say was hold it. What I want to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the older books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you are all talking about. At what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon. It would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you are talking about. Oh, probably. Since he changed his statement, we should repress him. Just before 5, exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Yes, no mistake there. I remember it right. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after that dreadful time I have. What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and dunked my head. It always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. She could have fallen by herself. No, he saw a knife. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my nut. Oh my god, you are the green coach! Fuck! Oh my god, he's the green coach! Oh, this is great. I really thought my number was up. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. This happened at Calabash Road? That's right, I live in Cornpipe. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your book. Journal number 6, if I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright. Ah. Okay, that's great. Okay, so. Can only have been the victim. No. It could have been literally just this guy.
Objection!
These two statements clearly show a flaw in the jury's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Honestly, I want this last two as witness, not jury. Well, jury numbers 2 and 6. My, what do you mean? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. Not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure. The old bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he have been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are aware. The poor young woman who was stabbed.
Objection!
Can you really be sure of that, madam? What do you mean? I'm sure you hear just juror number 6 accounted of what happened to him that day. The same afternoon, there was someone else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh. Oh my goodness, you mean? That's right, I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting the person in the green overcoat who the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was a jolly old man on the end of the bench here with me today? That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has some of similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness. Sorry, you need to pee? And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long road back to the logins. If that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way. The crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my. You idiot old man, if you haven't been so daft as to be roaming there, you have boxed this off hours ago. Oh, really? What were you thinking wearing such a baffling coach? What did you say to me? Is it a crime for an elderly man to walk the streets today? Is it a crime to sleep over the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat? Is it? My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but... You like to change your leaning, I presume? I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty. Thank you. And I would too. What? Is it a crime to change my mind? Well... Okay. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful. Well, we managed to change a couple of the minds at least. Strengthen our position somehow. Yes, and we will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if only we could identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make him stop doubting, we might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what we got to do. 1-6 is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent. Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation examination. Yes, my lord? Okay. So, we know that this is the right one, because it's the new one. I was digging up Merchant Street from dawn to dusk, so... None of them contradicts what he said yet. So let's press him again. So if I understand correctly, you are the laborer, and you were doing road amenities that day. That's right. Say you got a lot of bus gas and winter pipe to the ground. No time of the year, the fellows like me can actually make a few bobs. And from dawn to dusk, to mark on the street the exact location you were carrying out. Give it here, let me have a look. Right, let's see. Here we are, Marital Street. Yes, it was here. It was a tidy dig, I can tell you. We'll have to get through all the drift of snow that have frozen solid. And at time, we started in the morning and we couldn't have finished before going sick. The snow have stopped coming down, but it was long past dark. That means the road work was going on when Miss Green was attacked at around 5 o'clock. Oh! It's not that he's a witness, it's that while he's working, the street was closed. That's why he have the reason to not to take the long way home. He have a reason to take the long way home because the street was closed for repairs. Explain yourselves, please. Don't pound the point. It wasn't me, I swear. What? I just want to get it done and dusted. Well, junior number 3. Mister, what do you mean? Junior number 5 words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what have been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were work being carried out on Merchant Street, making it impassable. Which means the defendant route home could not have been taken along Merchant Street and down Briar Road. Yes, of course, what do you think, sir? Well, yeah, you can't argue with that, really, can you? You must have a good 2 yards or more of pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along have to turn back and go the other way. So, the only conclusion to this, the defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. And he did not actually saw the victim. He saw the fucking old man. I suppose that must be right. Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the house on his way back from the bookshop. But we now see that he have no choice. My lord, Mr. Judge, if I may? Yes, I don't think in our good conscience that I can say that man is guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. Let me just move some things around. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Who, me? Well, alright then. There's a hole in the prosecution argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say. Well, the summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The A's 2, the no's 4. So the no's have it, not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have the consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
50 chalice? 50 chalice! Could it be more churlish to me of me to drink from a hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust, pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zix, you would never break a chalice. Since I must retract my earliest remarks. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling apart for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Oh, whatever do you mean? I haven't tricked anyone, everything I have said is true. Indeed, Tower Juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you say it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you have excavated? That's right, took me the whole day and then paid me a measly tuppence for it. Now, my little Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you really have any notion of the distance 2 yards represents? Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Oh, that's not much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Me? I can't say you're wrong, no. And did you perhaps erected a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your work? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. If someone comes in and hurt, that's their fucking problem. No coach would have hope of passing anyway. We just turn any gentlefolks back where they came. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can tell. I have a little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meandering around town. The dude is fucking made of sticks. Nah. Is that true, is it? The incontrovertible truth is that the book just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back on his logins, Mr. Natsume walking down Briar's Road. So we are affirming that the books on the street are the books he bought. Okay. Crushed in a single sentence. An old man. Goldman, you can talk. You said that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man the accused saw, but I will lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Order, order, Lord Van Zix, explain yourself. My lord, if you have such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination? I want to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I want him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. No more cape. So, my little friend, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What are you talking about? My lord, the prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand. Granted, bailiff, bring forth the witness. The next witness? Miss Naruhodo do not remember? You've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember, one of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution next witness. No matter who Van Zyx brings to the stand as his witness, and no matter— oh fuck, it's gonna be Sherlock. No, Sherlock was not there. Sherlock was with us on the— just getting out of the boat. Yeah. I believe it's Zyx's son. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end. Until the battle is over. Roll, roll, fight the power. Okay. Witness, please state your name and occupation to the court. How did you break your helmet like that? Oh, they are sharing sweaters and she has a ribbon made from the same thing. That's cute. Oh. Constable Raleigh beat, huh? Nothing to report on the streets, huh? Raleigh beat, I believe. Yeah, that's the name of the reporting officer on the incident report. And I'm Mr. Beat. Patricia is my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife. What's the story here? The story is that he haven't have a good night of sleep in like 4 weeks. Well, in true, we've not been married for long. In fact, we celebrate our first anniversary only the other day. No, it was her husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. While being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers straddle some 20 miles a day. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes. Your police collects taxes? Huh. I guess you have to manually do that at this time. Survey the streets, check the meters, check the meters are reading true, and they are responsible for keeping the streets clean, enlightening and extinguishing our streetlights. This could have been someone else. There are a number of items on that list that doesn't sound much like police duties. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my foot. I would have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that the policeman's priority duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crime on his beat. But the London's lobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction. They witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Miss and Mrs. Beat? That's right, sir, isn't it, Raleigh? Constable Raleigh Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir. What a great witness he's gonna be. Very well. I'd like to hear a formal testimony now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir. Okay. It was our wedding anniversary and Raleigh was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them collapsed on the floor, then the other scattered something before running out. We ran straight over, of course, and then went to help at the nearby police over. Ran straight over and went for help on nearby. Okay, so you went You didn't go to the person in the street to fall, you went to a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day. He did not say a word. Well, that's extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume as Sim. Their testimony is true. Are you here just to explain what just happened to the player? The alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be squashed. It's a death knell, in fact, because the alternative was never viable in the first place. What of unfortunate benching and on our wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my men. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London lobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed, however, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may very well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witness, saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Suzeki Natsume. And one of the witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except the man so tired his wife has to do the talking. They don't exactly saw his face because they have to call Sherlock to help find a man who ran away from the scene. But they didn't see the face of the man, or at least they never established in the investigation that they did. Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. What the witness saw. It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Okay, none of this sounds weird. Oh, forgot to change. No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Miss Beatty? No, sadly not. It's a job for stripping young men only. Women, children, and elderly can't even apply. Well, I think you can probably see why children and elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Raleigh looks even so handsomely in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling? I just finished my bit. Pat and I were heading to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking his sleep? This is creepy. Oh no, Raleigh, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothing. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adhere to the point. You are going for a meal after you have finished your bit for the day, correct? Yeah, sir, I thought I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life. As long as I'm a proud owner of this, I serve my city and my queen to the end. What is that? My warrant card, proof that I'm a Londoner copper. It has noble founding principles of the force written on it, as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. Patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such noble cause, I cover 20 miles every day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all the Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then. But sir, just on that particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat put up a lot with being married to a bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. Aww. Oh, Pet. Oh, Raleigh. Oh, I like how they made one dialogue for both. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold. If a little over the top, shut the fuck up, you nose kid. Then, kindly describe what happened next. I want to know the time where you saw the person. Anyway, two silhouettes appear out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. Two silhouettes? That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume. Yes, unfortunately it does. And you are certain at the time there was nobody else nearby? Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road. You see? There was nobody else around, isn't that right, my darling? Yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is a dead straight, and you could see a very long way down the pavement. And there is the street light as well. I don't see any other pedestrian. Before sleep takes firmer hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you sure of what you just said? Yes, sir. A scooper who spent all day every day keeping watch on the street. I swear to it, sir. As I'm sure, as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Raleigh. They're still maintaining that no one else around ordered the victim and the attacker. Starting to seem like they must be how it really happened. Begin to seem like there's nowhere to run. Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene out too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonable clear idea of the situation. What happened at the crucial moment that followed? All of a sudden, one of them collapsed on the floor and the other scattered something before running away. Scatter something.
Hold it!
Scatter something, what do you mean by that? Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was. But then when we got close, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Yeah, that's right. It was some old books. I see, old books. Yes, sir, the culprit have dropped a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly depicted in this photograph we print. The rotten Japanese did what he did. Sorry, that rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it!
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. Well, we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taunt mouth, the snub nose, everything. Any more insults you wanna throw? That's right, he looked down at the poor defenseless woman with those terrifying intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his book on the pavement and ran away. I see. This is tough. They seem as though they are telling the truth. May I remind the court that this ambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife? Now, please, continue. Yes, sir. We ran straight over and then went for help at the nearby police. So this is the thing I'm thinking.
Hold it!
Someone could have messed around with the crime scene after. Was it your husband who went to fetch help? No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one of after all. Isn't that right, my darling? What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I asked Miss Beat to go. I was off duty by that point, but Bob never truly off duty, of course. So I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, see? I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what exactly do you mean by the right police box? Depending on the crime location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under, so she could go and report it. I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know? And thanks to your swiftly response, the case was quickly resolved. The action of two model citizens. Oh, please, you're making us blush. Isn't he, darling? Yes, sir, what Patricia said, sir. Let's move on, shall we? It was definitely the Japanese man in the dock. Hirali and I both saw him clear as day. So, that's it then? Oh. I misclicked it, sorry. I'm not gonna read that because I normally skip those because those are normally just there to help the player. But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light the gas street lamp, would you? We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I have you know. Right. The light for the street lamp was more than enough. My husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he? Yes. What of the fog? We are famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's absolutely menace for those of us who have to live with it, of course. Oh, it is, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your arm. Yeah, because they have the thing about eating carrots, I think. The government made them eat carrots because that's what they have, and then they told them that it helped with eyesight. Yeah, that's alright, I take your point. Now, could you please stop shaking your husband? The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell for sure and certain that it was the little Japanese man. Can't we, darling? Oh, yes, it was the accusator, no mistake. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth. Unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. What I remember reading was that they did that because they have like an extreme amount of carrots, and they were like, what the fuck do we do with this? If we just send it to it, the soldiers are gonna be angry, so give it an excuse or something like that. At least that's what I remember reading some time ago. As far as this couple testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Suzuki's son they saw running away from the scene of the crime. Mr. Lawyer, can I ask you something? Oh, see? After we press everything, a new cutscene. Yes, of course, what is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we have told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony, is that right? Is it? Out with it. I'm loving her. The two of them, I'm loving the dynamic of the two. What do you have here? Well, no, it's not that at all. I was a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the name of every single one, every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is? Okay, so that's where the name of the books come in. No, it wouldn't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Raleigh will. I didn't mean to cause offense, please, put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Miss Bird? Might that appease you? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't, darling? I could tell you the name of the books.
Hold it!
Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime. After I've been to the police box for help, well, I decided to have a good look around the area for good measure. I'm a proud policeman wife after all. I did it for Raleigh. And what was your husband doing at the time? Oh, he was lying down. He was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He worked ever so hard, you know, ever so hard. Don't you, my darling? Okay, so the crime scene was not being guarded. Well, Miss Beat, seeing as you have regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the book? I'll be happy to now. There was the picture of Monsieur somebody or something. What is it, yearnings? And a meal for someone. And the last one was definitely the Tingaman something. Okay, what are the correct books? Oh, the Canterbury earring, a meal for Gambury, and the picture of Monsieur Lecoud. Picture of Monsieur Lecoud, the something earnings, meal for something, and the Tingham something. The Tingham something, it's a new one. You see, he only bought 3 books, not 4. Yes, I see there is one of 2 holes in your memory. Well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure. There were indeed books found on the scene of the crime with titles along those lines, as you put it. Well, what did I tell you? I think it's very mean the way you have been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling? Anyone who upset Patricia will have to answer to my gun. Terrifying. Yeah, she really is. So, that's the entire testimony? Did she add the name of the books to... Okay, back to it. The 4 books. It was not 4 books.
Objection!
It was 3 books. So, you're saying there were 4 books? That's right, remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur somebody, what's it, yearnings, a meal for someone, and the Tingummy something. I'm sorry, Miss Beat, but there is a fundamental flaw in this statement of yours. Oh, what flaw? Simply put, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant brought his books. Your books? Yes, it details Mr. Natsume's purchase that day. As you can see, only 3 books are listed. Only 3, but no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you, 4 dirty old books. Oh really? Have a good look at this photograph print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books. But I just don't believe it. I saw them. I swear I saw them. No, madam, I'm afraid their power of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied. Therefore, though you may say it was a defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. No.
Objection!
Is she holding his arm so he doesn't fall down? It's plainly evident that it was your power of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you're striving to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsistent discrepancies. He could have a book in his bag. She could be holding a book, honestly. My first theory was that maybe she was just holding a book. Would that be... But it is interesting that the photo doesn't have a 4th book. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plans have somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. The policeman's wife, her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Oh, you see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found. But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print. That print, oh. Updated print report? Allow me to present another, one of that shows the victim hands. The Lion Pride, which is the book that was burned down, which is not the book she found. Instead, is the book we talked about on the house of the landlord. It's his favorite book, and it was burned down when he fought his wife, who Sherlock insisted on calling the beast throughout the entire investigation. And we can see the burns mark here. I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim torsos. No. No. Oh, she's not holding it. They are just sharing one scarf. One scarf. Order, order. There, you see, look at that. Look. Yes. Just like I said. Are you not his wife? Because there was a thing on the case about how we couldn't see his wife's face. Are you an imposter? Did his wife run away with the burned book and you are an imposter faking being his wife? And you're in the jury. Are you the... Huh? I am a bit confused. He fought his wife. The book was burned. He ran away. He got stabbed. And you stabbed her and took her place? It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia is always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the book purchase by the accused on the day in question. Miss Beat, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. The pictures of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecote. The yearnings. The Canterbury yearnings. Meal for somebody, someone. A meal for Gaborian. As the court just heard, the witness remembered the book's titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Miss Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional. Did you hear that, Raleigh? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir, flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless. But there are only 3 books in the receipt, and Miss Beat mentioned a 4th. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is what which is shown in this photographic print. Sorry, Constable, but does that not seem odd? Why would the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. And the photograph clearly shows the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding a book? I wonder what became of that 4th book. Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigation officers at Scotland Yard. I have it. What was the name when we was investigating the scene? Johnny. The reason they fought was because on one of his books she found a love letter to a Johnny. Okay, we don't have a Johnny yet. I have it here as evidence. You will submit. My pleasure, my lord. All this bullshit is exactly why all evidence must be presented in the beginning of the trial. There was, in the DLC case of the original Phoenix Wright for the GBA, when it released on the DS, they have a special final case. One of the main plot lines of that case was that at the middle of the case we found a new evidence, and then the prosecution was like, no, there are rules of how to present evidence, and you cannot present evidence that was found in the middle of the case. All evidence must be presented at the beginning of the case. And it was just a gigantic pile of bullshit. That is not even talking about how Miles just loves to present autopsy reports, and then you show an inconsistent, and he's like, well, that's because your autopsy report is old. Here is the updated one. Fuck you. My pleasure, my lord. The second crime scene, photo, and the fourth book. The prosecution rests. And by rest, I mean, let me take a look. Yep, the Burned, the Lion's Pride book. The Lion's Pride. Are we not gonna talk about it? Let me see. Book entitles The Lion's Pride. I'm afraid I don't know the English literature. Won't be something. Oh wait, the lion. That's strange. I heard of that name before. I recognize the title, Mr. Naruhodo. Really? You guys are not gonna talk about it? You know where this book came from. Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burned. That's right. You'll never be able to read in this state, especially not in the later pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scar, the books have been found. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that raise a flag? Okay. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend, but your resistance until now have been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused logins that you try to establish in your summation examination, and the attempt to discredit the witness powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this one, didn't I? You see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right, darling? Yes, Pat? Marry me, Pat. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have made all too apparent already? You heard all of the witness and seen all the evidence. You have not seen all the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in terrible precarious position. I know, but... sorry, just a second. If I fight back in the wrong way, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Renosuke, what do you do now?
Objection!
Always raise an objection. I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. The last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast, there is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you are concerned, but... I can't think of what to say. If I may, Lord Van Zix, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Huh. Your insignificant little eastern islet must be lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you'll have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinion invaluable. Oh, Miss Naruhodo. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. Sure. So the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Mrs. Zato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? Or have you all overlooking this matter you see fit to pursue further? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finish. I see. And you believe that this evidence warrants further examination? Ms. Naruhodo, what do you think? Is it possible that the new evidence might be decisive proof we are waiting for? The judge is sure to ask the member of the jury to announce their leadings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So I must take this opportunity to examine it nearly. Oh, so this is just to tell the player to open the fucking record and take a look at the book. Okay. We have already done that. The defense would like to talk. Very well, the defense may present one further piece of evidence. Present the book. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand. We have already discussed the fourth book in length. Other than being the victim grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further may be flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Well, yes, I'm afraid, Counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that this evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered... What the fuck is this word? Here? Hitherto, until now or until the point in time under discussion. The question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist you elaborate, Counsel. You may identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Yes, my lord, it's... I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thoroughly examination of the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track. Yes, you may be right. So, Counsel, precisely where is the vital clue in this case? Third book.
Got it!
I would ask the question to observe the back of the book in question. The back? Oh, it's burned to a crisp? So, we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is an bio, an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing. And we know why.
Objection!
Naturally, you say. And what of it, Nipponese friend? Were I to conceal the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, do enlighten us. What truth does this charity book conceal? An outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are your suggestions? You can assert from the fire damage. We can assert its owners. My lord, the burn back of this book reveals the startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon, but we already know who the books belong to. The victim was grasping in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hands has yet to be answered. However, as to the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very creditably answers. Good gracious, how can you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with his futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the member of the jury may very well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. Who is the owner?
Take that!
The landlord. The The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who owns the house where the defendant has his logins. A certain Miss and Mrs. Garidab. The landlords? And whenever this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all people in London, one of the 6 chosen of the jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garidab herself. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Miss Garidab's wife. I'm his maid. Things will be so much easier if you just drop the pretense. Alright, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Miss Garidab's house? I would never presume to know all of the books you keep, sir. This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garidab's house. Oh, good lord, what sort of incident? A fire, my lord. Afraid to say it was happening in a blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke, couldn't see a belly thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread. The belly furniture started going up as well. Worst of all, I lost my favorite book, called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? By jolly, the very same title that is the subject of this debate. Oh dear me. This is reasonably. All you have told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it will very reasonably to assume it was burned to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it will make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord? Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garidab was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garidab even amid the flames. Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Raleigh? Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. And have all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smokes. Then my wife started hurling things at me. There was I, back against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books, incoming 10 to the dozen. Okay, so that's how the book got there. The man have his back against the window and he have burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown to the window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No. A thorough investigation of the surrounded area was concluded the very evening of the incident, and there is no report of Garidab's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no seal of broken glass when we visited Garidab's household. But it's not conceivable that the window was open in timing? Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner will ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. You would, because your house would be full of smoke. The defense postulated this scenario in all seriousness, counsel. You earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garidab's wife? Oh yeah. The only proof we have of who his wife was a ring. A ring we cannot see because we cannot see her hand in neither of the photos. I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's enough. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little thief set the whole neighborhood alight? Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance sake? How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case. Nothing at all. All you have done is sully our family name. No, I assure you, that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen name through the mud simply to divert attention from our falling defense? I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have you sat here listening to this Nipponese pouring out his fancy foreigner theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache. And he ran away from the scene. I do declare you're right. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Huh? Sorry, what was that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zix? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessary protected proceedings. On the third case, you are being an asshole, and I actually did not defend my client to examine and find them true, and you act as you were respected that I did that. Now that it's your turn to be like, you know, he does have a point, we should talk about this. Nah, you're being an asshole about it. But then one must also exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait. The mystery of the fourth book still haven't been... Books are a predication, my learned friend. Study them on your own time. I showed you respect and you showed me nothing. What no forgiveness discourtesy this time? In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state an individual decision regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty!
Really? Even you? Time for a second summation as examination? Thank you for that unambiguous response. Twice it's over. Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. Mr. Zato, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting? Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination. You could still convince the jury to change their mind to have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. Huh? You believe you still have tricks up your sleeves? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Ah, I wish he had shown me the same respect I showed him in the third case. Respect is not the correct answer, maybe. The pursuit for the truth, I guess it would be the correct sentence. I have considered the defense counsel request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial rights to this procedure. Ah, let me drink some more water. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concise for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Judicial findings. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books. If there were some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Yeah, we still we are trying to prove his innocence, but we still don't actually have anything about how we are actually gonna prove his innocence. Like, who the fuck did the stabbing? How did the stabbing happen? My theory right now is the maid is faking being the wife and she stabbed the woman. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if this window was closed, can it? Dear me, if it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we have a fire at home a while ago. Gave me the sneezels. Gave you the sneasel because you have to open the window because of the smoke, and then you sneasel because of the cold. So that's how we are gonna argue that he have an open window. Okay. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around. With one notable exception, of course. My learned friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused that was fled in the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Oh, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it could be argued in any other way. That means I'm afraid that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanations for the fact. How? What would even constitute a tangible explanation? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there was a thinking this might be hard. Naruhodo, you have it, otherwise this really will be where the trials end. No pressure. That's quite enough, Rebel. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, Consul? Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Ryunosuke, focus. Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be jury number 4, the maid, or should I say, Mrs. Garadeb. We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique we have. Don't forget to keep eyes on Miss Garadeb and how she reacts, even to things that other people said. Oh, okay, so this is gonna be one of those pursuits. The accused left behind. Okay, so first, press everyone. As we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's that part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at that point, the woman was stabbed, but the landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Even a fiery scrap of his wife or something. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened. I think that's what you call a strong alibi. So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver is about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since you have nothing left to say. There was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed I might consider.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delighted on your face. Such a delight on your face. But I'm afraid that I won't be swallowed by emotions. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan and rational woman. That is great. One reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan and rational thinking, wouldn't you say? and not at all extreme. As I see it, overwhelming suspicious Japanese men have been implicated by overwhelming strong testimony. So despite one of two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelming guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say? Overwhelmingly. But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So, I'll only be too happy to consider an exciting new theory, if you could come up with one. I'll be happy to do that if I could. Let's do our best to not disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady. Right. Miguel, I'm glad you admit you're rational. The one was throwing books can be related to the crime if the window was closed.
Hold it!
What of the possibility the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have. How can you be sure? The prosecution file over there said early, didn't he? Winter in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Sorry. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm. You couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of even having a window? Counsel, you kindly refrain from childish bickering. Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there is an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't gonna budge otherwise. But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as loving incendiary bombs. Well, he brought upon himself playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it well, don't you agree? Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Miss Garibadat. Never mind that, the point is we were just having a jovial little dispute. Nothing more. And I won't have any more of those suggestions that it wasn't anything to do with this crime. Right, we'll see about that. What about number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Miss Relentless Onslaught. It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. He is used to having a woman beside him trying to slap him.
Hold it!
Okay. You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future's at stake here. Well, he and me both, them, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a daily laborer. I always forget how to pronounce this word. Laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some radish with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me, my missus doesn't want to mess about. You know, she can be fiercely, believe me. Another shiny example of martial bliss. Marital. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well... You know, it's funny, I can't really remember. Sorry? It was so frightening, that's the thing, I must have blacked out. Helpful. I wonder if Miss Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf. Mister, don't even go there, Mrs. Atta. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Come to think of it, we have a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneeze.
Hold it!
Rest. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant culprit? Sorry, what's that? You have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandkid baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. I have 75 candles on top of it. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? What the fuck is wrong with you? Of course not, it was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obvious. This is a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered out my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown out the wrong somehow, the flames didn't go out. But the candles went flying all over the room. The furnace she caught, everything went up, the whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by this means, you presumably you mean a cold, but how did you catch a cold from the fire? What a fiasco, the grandkid blasted and threw water all over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then because the whole room had filled with smoke, I have to open all the windows to clear it. The beating winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave it did. I caught a terrible cold from it, put me in a hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was devil worship, but something about this old man's story is spinning on my mind for some reason. Okay. So, first... windows all closed. Open the window. These two jurors' statements clearly contradicted one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me, I told you it wasn't me. Oh, what's this say? Speak up, lad, speak up. Juror number 3, you see. Me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6 accounts of his birthday celebration last year? So it would only work if I have pressed him, because then everyone would have heard about the story. It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it's an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then it would be mad not to open the... Oh, exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garidab household. Mr. Garidab have the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke. Oh my, ouch. Ooh. There is something for us to do here. Therefore, to clear the smoke, either Garidab's wife almost sort of opened the window. That you cannot deny would be in no way out of ordinary. No, I suppose it wouldn't. I really want to pursue this. I want to pursue this. Juror number 4, do you have something to say? Miss Garidab? Oh dear me, what is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? Oh, so it really is that. It is imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Ah, alright, yes, you are right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't be easy since I continue to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire, oh, you never stop throwing things until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course, I should have realized it. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We managed to establish the window was open. We simply must have to add it to Miss Garidab's formal statement. Okay, so it did not... Okay. A lot of the statements changed then. These 3 books, novel alternative. The window could have been open when the woman was throwing books. I mean, it's definitely possible. Make sure, yes, the window was open. I want to get this over with. You have to open the windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chills get you. Okay, that's a lot of new statements, so let's press them again. At the point when the victim was attacked on Briar Road, we know there was a small house fire at the Garidab household on the opposite side of the street. Oh yes, it certainly seems that way on account of the smoke, and imagine they would have the windows wide open in spite of the cold. Can I pursue her again? Is it the same? Wait, this is different. Go back, go back, go back. Did that last statement trouble you in some way? The only thing troubling me is that the little Japanese lodger with the funny mustache. After all, when a lodger moves in, it's rather like having a new member of the family arrive. Might be an idea to use the new member of the family name then, instead of little Japanese lodger. The point is, it's very difficult to know what would make a good welcome gift for the man. A book, something nice to eat. Putting aside concern about the presents, could you maybe focus on the concerns at hand? Oh, so it was just like a weird pursuit. Okay.
Hold it!
Where were we? Her husband, who was back into a corner by the window due to the wife frenzy attack. Yes, that's right. So there's definitely a chance that one of those books could have flown past the man and out of the window. Only I can't really see how could it have gone all the way over the other side of the road. So I don't really see... Sorry. So I don't really see how that could change my decision. Oh, that wasn't enough. I mentioned the window was open at the time. The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. In the title of the book, The Lion's Pride, the same title in fact as the book that Mr. Garibald told us he had been reading. Well, I couldn't really say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband a copy of The Lion's Pride you have been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you have come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal the information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man, I didn't remember. At times like this, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as you well know. I really don't.
Oh boy.
I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. And that
Excuse me.
pulled something from you. What is it, jury number 5? You know something. I remember what it was. The memory I blocked out. I was listening to what this granny was saying, brought it all floating back. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Miss Gotti Dad, or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Well, tell me that's not because he's used to being hit all the time. It was about 2 weeks ago. You just got back home after work. Like, I have my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole, every last penny have dropped out. Oh dear me, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I lost the day wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck in the wall next to me it did, about an inch deep. No words, just terror. I could smell it and, you know, the god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was gonna end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I will never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, when women lose their rag, they will throw anything at you, knives, hats, hammer, you name it. They will throw knives at you. Are we implying that she could have thrown a knife that flew out of the window and hit the woman? Oh, that's stupid, but sure. Let's go with that. Never mind. Anyway, the man's word could be rather significant, I think. Okay. And pit with her.
Objection.
I have a novel theory for you. These two statements have deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain. Juror number 5, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh, whatever you mean. An alternative explanation as how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Cursed Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Miss Garibald's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object beside the book could have found its way from Gettysburg household to the street below. This is a mess. It really is. How about the fight the couple have next door? What is that now? After all, Miss Caridad could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. In the middle of a fight, she threw a burning book through a window and a knife that somehow one stabbed the woman in the back and the other ended up in her hand. That's the theory we are going with. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of the book came to light, perhaps she have a feeling this might be what happened. I still going with she left the house with the book in hand and this woman took her place somehow. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreign man of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object make its way out of the house, but what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. The book floor. She picked the book on the floor, and then that would make more sense. That would make a lot more sense, yeah. I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation, which is I'm sure that's not the case. It has to be more than that. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I will try to explain the defense theory. The object that found its way to the Garadad's household, the scene of the crime, was...
Take that!
the knife. Rule number 4, Miss Garadab. What? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. Garabea, good luck. I will ask later if it was done by the end of the day. I'm gonna be streaming for about 30 more minutes. I absolutely doubt this case is gonna be over in 30 minutes. No fucking way this is gonna be over in 30 minutes. This knight, have you seen this knife before? Oh. Good Lord Counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man. Fair, well, see you. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Miss and Mrs. Garadad were in throats of an argument. Miss Garadad was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed against the window. A window that has been opened to clear the smokes, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe the book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying it flew out the window and across the street to land neatly in her hands? Even my missus haven't got an M like that. Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow the trial to end not right now. Oh my. Miss Garadad, your answer, please? Have you ever seen this knife before? Oh, My lord, I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but... I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone aside for the deaf man, because he's not understanding what's happening. We did it! Congratulations, Mrs. Naruhodo! So, as a result of the defense summation examination, a number of the jury's leaning have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4, now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. This trial will continue. Objection. Oh no. Now then, Lord Von Zix, how does the prosecution wishes to proceed? Oh, I'm out of water. This trial is rapidly descending to a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. Oh, that's the 7th, 8th cup? What follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter. Oh, you don't like wine? If I may, Lord Von Zix, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credibly? Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. Let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? Because it was too far away. It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garnett household runs a rather wild briar road. Which means that the distance from the Garnett house to the scene of is some 15 yards. Let me see, 15 yards, that's around 14 meters. 14 meters, that's a little further than I imagined. And as you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, rightfully noted as having partial significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that our final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? Well... And did the jackknife follow a near-identical trajectory to plunge in the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic, serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecution loves the sound of his own voice. Miss Susato. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, may I allow to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes. Go ahead. The prosecution may consider the idea of a fantasy, or what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Gardeb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Let's allow a cross-examination of a juror. Members of the jury, come to the stand. Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to be the witness stand. And unnecessary. Lord Von Zix, there are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony to the defense may further the cross-exam. If my learned friend farcical theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before the couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What says you, witness? Yes, sir. Constable Roy Beatty reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who is appearing on my beat, sir. Oh, they are heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Raleigh, my hero, you make me so... Very well, I hereby reject the defense request. Oh, and order the witness in the stand to testify again. State forthwith, before the court any details pertinent to the defense alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir. So now it's his turn. The case has nothing to do with Mr. or Mrs. Garbidad. Believe me, a London body is good for his word. You see, sir, the window on the top floor of the Garbidad house are top-hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, you would have seen it. I didn't leave the scene to go fetch help. Trusty Raleigh was there. Did the book land in your head? Raleigh was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Oh, this is quite startling. Top-hinged casement windows. The detail was not in the police report, Constable. Yes, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir. Sorry, but... What exactly are top-hinged casement windows? And you... You cannot excuse our ignorance with such trifle remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry. I found Miss Naruto. Case your mind back in the window in Mr. and Mrs. Garbidad's room. I'll try. So the window opens in... So the windows open in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see. I'm glad you rectify your ignorance. A casement window most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it being open? That is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown to the open window, it would have been cluttered against the pane and falling straight down to the pavement below. No. You see the problem then? Good. Your education in window is complete. She threw the book, the woman went in to pick up the book, knife was thrown, knife landed on her back. But then... the locations are all wrong. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the roads. That is, unless the window pane have been shattered. Something we have discounted already. That can't be. You see that, Raleigh? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me. Oh, Raleigh, you're so strong. How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument has been destroyed. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination. My lord? Oh good, another desperate situation. Constable Beats report. This case has no... Oh, it's the same size. Okay, let's start pressing. How can I say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the notable founding principles of the force written on it, as a reminder to all of us policemen on our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's what the job is all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bob is good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes adamantly, sir. Oh, Raleigh, you are so manly. course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat. Oh, Raleigh. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you be certain that this case has nothing to do with Miss and Mrs. Garibald? Oh, I see. Sure. Sorry. I see, sir. Sure. You shouldn't have said so early, sir. Sir? Well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer to this full of my ability, sir. There is a surprisingly reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garibald's domestic dispute can be related to this case. But before I get into that, just one thing. Yes, I have very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the Great Britain institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you take back some tales of us London Dobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet, I only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'll be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get it through without shedding a few tears. New proof. Let me check. A small folding wallet that identifies London Bobbies and contains the rules of conduct of which they must adhere. Policemen will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. A police officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day. Any crimes filed under the registry of the beat without the way in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on a beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and detectives. Okay.
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air to pass through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open. And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room have struck the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite of the scene of the crime. The other side of the rather wide road. Would it have been so hard for someone to mention this top-handed engagement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. Yes, and what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of window Miss and Miss Garibald's house is furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Oh, sorry. You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Oh, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we're just so lucky it didn't happen on Raleigh's beat. It was so close, you see. Oh, I haven't realized. Oh yes, that's Street Briar Road. That's the boundary between Raleigh beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? Also starting to fall asleep. Constable beat. Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garibald household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see. That's really cutting close. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garibald household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well? Outside Mr. Garibald's house? Yes, man. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see, I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Bryan Road, we would never be able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Buddy after all. Extraordinary people of bobbies, tireless working for the benefit of all Londoners. Do you know what I think? I think it was a good Lord way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have the information officially recorded. Leave it to me, Mr. Narhodo. I will take care of it immediately. Okay. Now, my turn. And now my turn, I think. Sorry, I am falling asleep. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark. Oh, but Rolly and I was strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for a lucky star. Sorry? A star that will guide us to eternal happiness. Can't it guide you to answer the question? The flaming book have cut across the sky in front of us. It would have lit up like a shooting star. And if I have seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Roy be inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't make... Sorry. What with the smoke and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. Totally seems like they're telling the truth. And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I am actually falling asleep. Should we end early? I'm gonna end early. If it was a different game, I could see myself forcing it, but this is such a think about it game. I want my head to be in a good place. So I think I will end it early here. So, as always, thank you very much for watching today's stream. If you're interested in watching more of my content live, I try to stream on Twitch every day. If you're interested in watching some of my old content, I try to archive everything on my YouTube channel. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you will join me tomorrow. Bye bye!